everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. We are almost done with Inktober. It is day 30. After today, there is only one more drawing to go. Today's prompt is catch, and the first thing I thought of was a mermaid caught in a fisherman's net. I am once again using the Strathmore toned mixed media paper. This one is in blue. I did the sketch using a mechanical pencil. I'm sorry, I lost part of the footage of the initial sketch. My computer was throwing a little bit of a hissy fit today. And this was just another one of those projects where I'm like, okay, I've got to do it. Let's just jump in, get the sketch down, and get right in there. You've got your idea. Let's just start. In retrospect, I should have bumped her up a tiny bit so you can see a little bit more of her mermaid tail. I wanted a lot of the net to be in the drawing as well, so it happens. Also, I do think I want to do something like this again, but on a much larger piece of paper or a canvas. Because it is so little, I had to exaggerate a lot of stuff going on. After I got that initial sketch laid down, I went in with the Pentel Arts Hybrid Technica pen in 0.4. Been using this guy a lot. It's great for tiny little lines, and it is also great for going over with wet media later. I also pull in a white Posca pen, a Faber-Castell Pitt artist pen in white, and a Zig clean color dot marker in platinum. I also pull in some fine tipped Kuretake Zig markers. It's all I really use for this one, besides a gel pen, I believe, that I pull in. Yeah, I also pull in a white gel pen. I wanted to stick with markers and pens for this one. I knew trying to use some ink out of a jar, especially for something this small, unless I was going to just completely do line work with a drawing nib, that it wasn't the best scenario for this project here. And I start by getting in some of the main shading on the mermaid. I start filling her in mostly. And then later for the net itself, I start pulling in a thin black marker to just go over what I've already done. I am going to do a lot of layering, which I feel like I do for every piece, but this one is going to have even more. This one is going to be similar to the ghosty one, where it's going to start looking kind of soft in a certain way, but it just progressively gets creepier as I go. There was just a certain point where I went, screw it, let's make the mermaids scary. They're supposed to be kind of scary anyway, because they lure sailors to their deaths. So there's just a point where I go, whatever, and keep going. Also, I think this is just one of those drawings where I was having kind of a rough day a little bit. Nothing super serious, but enough where I just wanted to work on something and do it without thinking about it and without processing the drawing too much, using it as a way to concentrate on something, but not overthink it, but enough to pull away from thinking about other things that are going on. For me, personally, a lot of creating, I do it because I love to do it, but there are certain pieces and moments in time where I do certain ones to help me process something else that's going on in my life. And this one ended up accidentally being one of those drawings. Basically, any negative or anxious energy I was having went into this drawing. And as I go, the drawing gets messier and more frantic in certain places because that's where my brain was at that moment. If you create, do you do that as well? Is this just something I go through? Does making stuff help you with certain things that are going on? Or does it just help you turn off your brain? Please let me know in that comment section down below. At this point in the drawing, I have a lot of the regular shading done on the mermaid herself, and I have done a lot of cross-hatching to insinuate a fisherman's net. I start going back and forth between all the markers and adjusting and layering as I go. I did go back and forth for a little while about whether or not she should have pupils and if I should leave her eyes just bright white or not. I do end up going that route later, but you will see me jump back and pull forth while I'm kind of deciding what's going on. I also put little slits around her neck to insinuate gills. They become far more pronounced later. I extend them out quite a bit when I decide to go the more frightening and monstrous route with her. I extend those out. It almost looks like she has a collar made of bone or gills around her face when that part is finished later. And later I also extend out her hand and try to make it look less like a realistic hand and just stronger, creepier looking fingers jutting off. At the point in the drawing that is being shown right now, I make her hair huge for some reason. I make it just look like the biggest, messiest, driest, rattiest mop of hair ever made. And I kind of just went with it for a minute. The actual change between tone and all that actually starts with me pulling her hair down. And that all starts after I take a break, go downstairs, eat some Taco Bell, and walk back and go, oh geez, I don't like her hair. It is too huge. So I started playing with that, and it kind of snowballed into, let's do this and change this around, and let's just make her creepy. Apparently eating some food made me just go, hey, I want to change every single little thing about this. Somehow secretly Taco Bell's fault. Just kidding. But before I decided to change the big hair, I'd do a bunch of white dots in between the netting and a little bit in that tiny empty gray area where the blue paper is still showing in the top right corner. Think it was to insinuate stars, maybe? I don't really know. I just did it. About here is when I go, oh my goodness, I made her hair huge, so I start trying to pull it down a little bit, flatten it out. And I also add more lines in the background on the netting area to help kind of hide what I had initially with the hair. Basically using a bunch of layering to distract and hide what I did not like previously that was going on. And here's when I start doing some of the creepier edits, where, like I said earlier, I place the gills a little bit higher around her neck and where it's almost framing her face to make her look more monster or fish-like. More like a scary mermaid, I guess. This is a 4x6 piece. It's about the size of my hand. I'm doing a lot of small changes, lots of them, and trying to shove in a bunch of detail work that helps with the overall effect, but it's hard to see little differences when you're watching a video like this, especially while editing where I have it as a very small section on the screen. I'm like, I know I did stuff. This is another decision I made to help cover up where I initially had the line of the hair. I decided to do white lines surrounding her face, hair, and shoulders area. I think it did two things. It helped hide some of the mistakes I made earlier, but it also helps bring a focus into her face area. Gives a focal point of the drawing. Thirdly, it adds to the creepy aesthetic that I have going on. And right now, I start doing that weirdly shaped hand to help add to the otherworldly character of our little mermaid here. And then I go over everything I just did on her body and whatnot, again with that little black marker. I also start pulling in a white Posca pen to add some white lines to the fisherman's net, just to help add a little bit more depth to what we've got going on. But with that, this drawing is done, just like Inktober is almost done. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, feelings, or you just want to let me know what you've been doing this Inktober, what you did for today's prompt, what supplies you've been using, please let me know in that comment section down below. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video and listen to me ramble. And ramble I did. Also, thank you everybody who has been watching videos this month, who's been liking them, and who's been subscribing. I appreciate it so much. You are all super awesome. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and you'll definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!